G'day humans, Chris Stead here. I'm on the road today. I'm in the Maldives. I'm at Club Med Kani, as you can see there. And in this video, I'm going to give you a full review and a full tour of everything that this family-friendly resort has to offer. Let's jump in.
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
No!
Are we there yet?
Yes!
Dad, I'm hungry.
Righto, so I'll be honest to begin with, it is bloody hot right now. It's the middle of the day, it's 30 something and 1000% humidity. It's really, really hot and I should be in the pool drinking a beer, but I just really wanted to show this place off in all its glory because it is a beautiful day and this is a beautiful, beautiful place to be. So let's make the most of the sunshine and everything like that. So as I mentioned, this is a family-friendly resort and I'm here with my family. So I've got the 3 kids here and their ages are 13, 11 and 8.5, and myself and my wife. Getting amongst all the activities, getting amongst all the fun. I'm going to show you all of that and walk you through the whole place so you can get an idea, because that's Club Med's a pretty special place for families, I've got to say. It's my second Club Med, and like the first one, and if you want to check out, I've done a review of Club Med Bintan Island, which is up on the channel. Definitely go check that out. And at some point I'll do a comparison between the two, but in this video I just want to focus solely on Kani because this is where I am, and this is a review about Kani. But there are definitely pros and cons between the two if you're umming and ahhing. But we'll do that in a separate video. Right now we're just going to jump in on this resort, solely on this resort, and the Club Med experience, which for my family and the kids the age that they are is just so on point. All right, let's do it. Okay, so here we are at the entrance. This is where you're going to come off the boat. So it's a speedboat from Mali. It takes about half an hour. So that's obviously much more cost effective than some of the resorts here that are seaplanes. You get in right at the far point down there. I'm not going to walk down there because, like I said, it's 1,000,000 degrees right now. But that's not only where you get on and off, it's where you depart for kind of excursions, like they have a free snorkeling tour. So you can a couple of times a day you can come and do a little proficiency test. Once you do a proficiency test and you show them that you can swim, it's bugger all. It's like, it couldn't be more than 20 meters in total. Then you can go with them and they'll take you to, there's 30 different spots and reefs around here. So depending on what the weather's like, where the turtles are at, where the manta rays are at, what it happens to be, they'll take you out there, you can go snorkeling, it's great. It's got scuba diving. I don't know if you can see the boys out there. Let's have a look. There's a little scuba diving spot out there, so you can do that. So that's definitely on the cards for anyone who wants to do it. I went on a surf trip this morning. We left from here, so this is where the action is, right? There's heaps of fish and sharks and stingrays and stuff you can see off the edge. The kids did jump off here a few times. I think I ended up getting in trouble, but the tide's so different. At high tide, which it is now, it's quite high, obviously. It's high tide. But yeah, at low tide, it's actually quite shallow. I wouldn't be jumping off there. I'd never be diving off there. But at high tide, it's pretty deep, you know. All right, we're going to go a bit of a walk. Now, if you've seen all my previous reviews, no news, no shoes. This seems to be a bit of a Maldivian statement. I've seen this in a few resorts, actually. But if you've seen my other reviews, you'd know that I like to start with a bit of a tour and just basically take you through what to expect. The whole idea of the process here is that these things cost money, and I want people to know that they're buying the right thing for them. You know, so I've got a few resorts in Maldivian or resorts in the Maldives, and you can go check out on the channel. You're trying arm and arm between a few of them. I might have a couple of reviews up for you. So this is the central area down here. I think you can see the overwater villas. So we'll get to those, don't worry. This is the one and only pool. And like I said, it's extremely hot today. The hottest day since we've been here by a country mile. So there's not a whole lot of use going on. This has become party zone. There's constant activities, right? I can see my daughter getting out of the pool, which is annoying me because she's supposed to be in kids club right now. And my son, who's also supposed to be in kids club. You know, I'll deal with that later. Because the kids club's really cool. I'll go into. So it's a pretty decent sized pool. There's always people playing around with volleyballs in here. They've got aerobics classes in here, water polo, all kinds of things going on. They had out here. They set up a foam pit out here, so that you could jump in all the foam and then go in the pool. That was really cool.
But how was it? It was foamy.
Despite the fact it's like, you know, it's pretty full. I don't know what the capacities are at the moment. I think someone told me it's about 65-70% capacity. But as you can see, there's lots of space in the heat of the day. And even when it's really kind of filled up and, you know, it'll be sunset in a couple of hours and this will be packed, it still seems to be well catered for. There's a lifeguard up there as well, as you can see. So not all the resorts do that. And I'll talk about that more, but that's kind of the family-focused aspect of it. I just wanted to take you down here before we head to the other side of the island. Just to show you, they've got all this kind of seating out here. There's a bar here. This is pretty much the only bar. And there are a couple of other places you can order drinks, but this one's the one that's kind of open all the time. So it's only just the one bar, and I would like to, you know, my gut reaction is to criticise that. It's an all-inclusive resort. You'd want to have more bars, right? The reality is I haven't seen a queue there, so I don't know if I can say anything negative about it, because the reality is you can go get there and get a drink. The only thing is that, as you'll see, you've got to walk so far to get to all these places that, you know, I had to have a beer to walk from my room over there to the start of this video. You know, like walking all the way down there. So, got beach volleyball here set up. There's a bit of swing in the water over here as well. You can see the kids have loved it. They spent ridiculous amounts of time on that swing. Beautiful palm trees the whole way up. Look at that. Stunning white sand, stunning water. There's plenty of fish out there. There's not a house reef, so to speak, but it's still not short of action. And, you know, as we'll go into a little bit as I walked around, the resort's kind of showing its age a little bit. It definitely needs some TLC. It's probably a post-COVID thing. You know, there's bits kind of falling off here and there, and it doesn't feel that awfully new or fresh. But the location just makes up for it, because it's just it is that Maldivian photo, you know. Oh, the palm trees, the white sand, the aqua water, you know. Is it really true? Yes, it's really true. Here it is, Club Med Kani, sorry. I honestly don't know how to pronounce it. I've asked about 6 people. I feel like I'm over-Australianing it. Anyway. So you can see a bunch of kids out there on a raft. That's one of the kids clubs. It's the teenage kids club. So as I said, extremely family focused resort. And for kids our age, it's just unreal. And I don't know, I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't come here as a couple on a honeymoon, even elderly, even solo, and not have a really good time. But I would say at least 70 to 80% of the people here are families. You know, so if you're gonna, you need to be at peace with the fact that you're going to hear kids. And the kids are going to hear kids. That's my son that just fell in. I'm glad to see he's amongst it. Got the sailing boats out there. I'm going to be doing that a little bit later with the kids. I promised them. I went and did my little sailing proficiency course. It's probably worth mentioning the staff at this point. They're just the Club Med staff are excellent. It's not just about being happy or that type of stuff. If you've never been to a Club Med before, they actually mingle. So they're not just people that kind of pass you by in the night and then, you know, serve you and disappear from your life. They're actually people that you communicate with, that will come have dinner with you at night. You meet them at the bar after the shows, and you get to know them. And they're good humans, having a really good time. You know, like they seem to, like, Club Med definitely seems to be all right by their staff, at least the front-facing staff. I can't say too much about the housekeeping staff because they don't seem to mingle as much. But your kind of water sports guy, your gym instructor, your bartender, those kind, you know, you'll see them off and on all the time, either serving you directly, or they'll be in the shows at night, because all the shows are not done by professional people, they're actually done by the staff. So they're having obviously some floaty going out there. Yeah, so the staff is a really cool experience. And I'll give you an example. So we were in Club Med Bintan 9 months ago with the kids, and almost as soon as we rocked up here, we saw two or three, I saw 3 people that I recognised straight away, and 2 of them instantly recognised our kids, and had and were like, oh, yeah, and they had an instant rapport, an instant chat, because they weren't just ships in the night when we saw them the first time. They were actually human beings that we spoke to and had a good time with. So they ended up having dinner with us, and we had a really good conversation and chat. It was like catching up with an old friend, and I think that says absolute volumes about the type of experience that they're offering here at Club Med. You know, so there's a gym in there. You got your water sports here. Anything that's non-mechanised is up for grabs. You can just do it. They asked me to just do a sailing proficiency test to prove that I wasn't going to sink the joint and kill it. And so yeah, I sailed all around there for a little bit and proved that I wasn't going to kill anyone. And this afternoon I can just jump on it and do it myself. There's life jackets and the like. And then when you get further down here, there's jet skis galore. There's I'll take you to the water sports team, which is a third party, which I will go into a little bit. It does suck that an all-inclusive resort has a third party that manages a lot of the activities, because obviously there's the added expense, but also you don't have that kind of security, I guess, of just being part of the people you're already dealing with. Having said that, the bloke that runs the water sports here, a super lovely dude, and we went for a surf trip this morning. You know, and he was like, basically, I went to book it last night, and he said, no, don't pay me now, because what happens if it's stormy in the morning? You know, why don't you just wait till the morning, and that way if it's stormy you don't have to pay. So he was being pretty straight up, honest dude, and I really appreciated that kind of honesty and that kind of flexibility. And it wasn't that expensive. In the end, it cost $45, including board hire, to go for a 3-hour surf at. We went to Chickens and Cokes, which are nearby breaks, are pretty famous, and a mad surf with my son, which I'll remember for the rest of my life. So money well spent. So it was $45 for my son because he had to hire a board, and it was $30 for me because I had my board already with me. That's US, so it was $100 roughly Australian to go surf some of the most famous breaks in the Maldives. You cannot argue with that, and you cannot argue with this view. Look at that. So as you can see, there's loungers the whole way down the beach. Now, I'm not going to march all the way down to the end of there because I'll probably faint. It is that damn hot. But needless to say, you've got these villas that run pretty much the whole entire way down. And I'll show you my villa, which is a beachfront deluxe villa, later on in this review. The pros and cons of it. And then there's superior villas, there's villas that are kind of inside, and then down that way, which I'll show you in a bit, is like more hotel roomy style stuff, like, you know, like 2 stories, room, and so forth. Depending on, and then obviously you got the overwater villas all the way down there as well, which if you want to go up to that. Now I talk about this a fair bit because I've already actually shot the room review, so I know what I said. At least I think I know what I said. So it's just, all the way down. It's quite a long stretch of island, but it's just beautiful the whole way down. You get right down there, and it's just little cross waves and reefs, and it's just mellow as hell. It's just so good, mellow as hell. Probably not the same. The one thing I will say about the rooms is that one of the Club Med things that they do, which I really love, but you really have to be into it. You know, if you're not, if you, and that's why it's great to be here as a family, because if you're with a family, you're into it. If I was here by myself, I wouldn't be. But they have like a show every single night, which is, it's done by the staff. They try hard. They're actually pretty talented people, but it's obviously not, you know, what are you going to see at the State Theatre? It's you know, they're out of time. You know, almost goofing off, almost tongue in cheek, just kind of just mucking around almost. But they're giving it their all, and I still really love it. I actually love it. I actually love the fact that it's not mint. It just kind of ties into it, and afterwards they kind of walk you to this party, which the first night we were here was on this side. I'll show you, it's on the other side of the island. Last night was on this side of the island. It was a beach party, and you know, they play a whole bunch of music and do all these dances, and the main guy here who runs the joint, he's up on stage like with his thick French accent, getting everyone, you know, pumping, and heaps of the staff are there and involved, and you know, it's a pretty cool atmosphere. It's really good for kids, because you know, kids don't get to do like a nightclub or anything, right? So it's kind of this way to kind of just have parents. It's all inclusive, so everyone's drunk. Like all the adults are drunk because they've been given as many cocktails as they bloody well want the whole entire day. And on a day like this, I'm telling you, that adds up. You know, the kids are there with them, the other kids are there with them. It's all kind of this big, it's just sick. It's just so good. There's plenty of Club Med that's not going to be the luxe experience. You know, it's not. Yeah, I'll go into this more if I want to do my comparison. Like Bintan was a lot more luxury than this. This is pretty, it feels like it's copped a few storms and taken a bit of battering due COVID, and could do with some love. Just in terms of just like this, you know, just it's rough, it's broken, there's roofs are in disarray, you know, that type of thing. But the vibe is still here. So no one's touching these courts right now because it's 1,000,000 degrees, but there you got some paddleball courts that's like fully glassed in. So these have actually been very popular. It's not paddleball, it's paddleball. You got a half court basketball down there. You've got a full size, well not full size, but a decent sized soccer field here as well. And in the process of building something over there, but I don't know what it is. So this is all part of the activities that you can just do for free as part of your all-inclusive experience. But also, the kids clubs use it as well a lot, you know. So if you come here with a group of friends, obviously, but if the kids, you just put them into the kids clubs. There's a teenage kid club, which I think starts at 11 or 12, and then there's a younger kids club. And I did say this in my review of the Bintan Club Med as well, is that I feel like they should have another club for, in particular, girls aged kind of 9 to 12, or 10 to 13, somewhere around there, because they're just a little bit too mature for the little kids club, but they're not quite ready for the teenage club, if you know what I mean. And my daughter is right in the middle of that, and she just falls out, you know. She's just like, yeah, doing it for us. So in the middle of this is just a staff quarters somewhere. So I think you see a bit of that. I'm just going to walk you through here so you can see the other side of the island, but also just give you an idea of the walking scale. Now I was talking a bit before about the beach parties. You can see one of those kind of 4-story ones. So this is kind of where you're going to get the less expensive rooms, which is perfectly fine. So if that's all you need, there's no point paying for more if you're going to spend the whole entire time at the pool and the bar. I don't think this is particularly the type of place where you spend all the time in the villa. It's the type of place where you get out and about and you do stuff, like that surfing trip that I spoke about, like the snorkeling, like the sailing, like the football, the kids clubs, and of course the eating, because it's all inclusive and the food here is pretty great. It's all buffet for the most part. There are a few places you can go and get a la carte stuff if you want to. I think we're doing that tonight actually. So I might be rolling B-roll of that right now. But they do mix it up a fair bit. They've got chef specialties every single meal, like 7 or 8 to choose from. The depth, the variety definitely wasn't as much as Bintan, but there's still a lot here. And if you didn't know any different, you'd be pretty impressed, I think. So you can see there's a lot of space on this side. This is the sunrise side of the island. So, you know, most people are going to be asleep at sunrise, to be honest. Sunset's kind of what you want, but sunrise is going to cost you a little bit less. Actually give you a fair bit more space. I do wonder if this is all open because this is the direction the waves come from, so maybe they're giving themselves a little bit of room to breathe there for any particularly big swells. Now I'm just going to show you over here, because this place over here is called Ninja Island, and it's awesome if you love crabs. It's like, I've never seen so many crabs in my life. And you just basically swim across this channel over here, swim across there, walk across the island, and you can jump off through the reef. There's a bit of a keyhole and get out. And over there, behind that peak, is a surf break called Ninjas, which you can just surf as often as you want. So you either hire a board, or you bring one with you, and you can just paddle out there whenever you want and have a surf. And I went out for a surf the first day I got here, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun walls. See these dudes here actually, they're just actually, look like they've just paddled, got washed in over the reef, and they're going walking back through. So it's a little bit bigger than it was yesterday. So this side of the island's like almost vacant. Now it's almost empty over here, right? That's a whole nother place over there. I think that's actually the other club, Med, which is a bit more focused on the luxury aspect, I think. It's got like, you know, villas with pools and stuff. But anyway, yeah, so that's all it takes to go for a surf. Now, you may have just worked out from the, 16, 19 minutes now that I've been walking, how long this island is. And right now, to get back to my villa is quite the trek, let alone to get back to the bar. So, that's definitely something to take into note. You're going to do a lot of walking here, which is probably good considering it's all inclusive, that you're going to be doing so much exercise. But one of the things I really don't like about the way that they design this place is that you can't go through on this side of the island. It's all blocked off for staff and deliveries and so forth down this way. So in order to get back through here, I've got to go literally back all the way to, you know, where that gym was, to get round it, to then go back to my villa, which is just on the other side of these trees. And that's a real pain. It's actually caught me out a lot of times. Maybe because I keep going surfing, so that's like catching me out more often than not. But there's no through access through here, and it just adds to your workload quite a bit. All right, well rather than walk you all the way back through there having a yarn, I'm gonna stop it and we'll jump back over at the front. All right, I'm back at the front of the resort here. I forgot to mention as well, I filmed it before, I know I did, but there's the trapeze on the other side of the gym there. And make no mistake, that is a highlight for the kids and adults. Adults do it too. But geez, the kids, they love it. It's just so it's just such a cool little feature that seems to be a Club Med specific thing. I've never seen it anywhere else. And it definitely adds some value to the whole entire experience. Now, the beauty of Club Med Kani is that it runs kind of north to south. So sunrise, sunset, sunrise. And the island runs lengthways, so that's good. That means you've kind of got the best of both worlds. Some of the other resorts here, there's slightly askew and there's not, like the pointy end is kind of the best end and there's not enough room to do anything. So that's something to keep in mind. Sorry, I'm just trying to get this ball back to the pool on the way. Someone's obviously ended up bringing it all the way over here. Now, in here is your main restaurant. It's all fun and games they're going to have when it comes to food. The food experience here, as I mentioned, is like a big part of the experience. You go in there, they'll serve you. There's a beer tap. There's a beer tap. You can just operate yourself. There's wine. You can order any drink that you want while you're there. They've got this front area here, which kind of looks out over the ocean and gets a nice sea breeze. There is a really nice sea breeze. Every day I've been here, there's this beautiful sea breeze coming through on this side of the island. There's also an air-conditioned room in there. In the non-air-conditioned rooms, it gets pretty hot. But yeah, I've never run out of shortage of food. I've never not been beautifully serviced and looked after the entire time I've been there. definitely the Club Med food experience is enjoyable, no doubt about it. Right, so we'll take you through now. If you're still with me, I'm going to boot that thing all the way down there. I'm only doing that because yesterday I was looking for ages for a volleyball. Isn't it beautiful? It's really nice in the shade here too. Some really meaty trees. So they have like all day. Effectively have all day dining. There's like the big buffet experiences, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then they have in between. They have late lunch and late breakfast, I think. And you can kind of go in and order off a menu and just get what you want. Here we go. Here's the map. Here's the surfboards too. So in all the walking that we've just done then, I've just gone from here, you can see here, and we walked basically to there, and it took, you know, I was meandering to be fair, but so that gives you an idea of the scale of the island. So if you're here or something, and you want to get down here constantly, you know, you're having this great overwater villa experience, but my God, are you doing some Ks? And it goes all the way down to the point here as well, you know. Now the benefit of being in one of those far places is, like I said, I have these beach parties and stuff, and they're loud, really loud. And one of the things that's kind of intriguing, and for me a bit of a con, but it might not be for everyone, depending on where you are in the world, is that they start everything late. So like the show starts at like 9 o'clock or something at night, and the you know, dinner starts late and everything like that. So my kids have actually been asleep. Being from Australia, we're 5 hours behind, so 5 hours ahead. So 9 o'clock here is like 2 a.m. in the morning, and they're buggered, like they're asleep. I think it's for the Europeans, obviously, because the Europeans are 4 or 5 hours ahead, so they're like raring to go. But that's just been one of the interesting things. But it does mean that if you're in any of the rooms that are anywhere near this area at all, then you're going to hear the show, you're going to hear the party, the DJ, all that stuff, till about 11 o'clock at night, at which point it ceases. So that's what it is. Now I'll just quickly show you in here some of the activities that you can do. So there's no shortage of activities. The nurse shark one, I think, would be really cool. And the fishing as well. So plenty that you can do. It's really lovely in here. It's very shady, very nice. That's your entrance into the restaurant dining. And there's stuff set up all the day. You know, there's like ice creams, and you can get ice creams whenever you want, basically. That's reception. So a nice little hut in the middle there. There's a little shop over here. And then down here we've got the doctor, which I did actually have to go see because my son copped a surfboard to the head. But that was all sorted really quickly. Just down here. You've also got table tennises here, which I'm surprised are actually kind of empty at the moment because they've been pretty well used. Decent Southeast Asian, Chinese population here. A lot of Russians as well. And obviously French, being that it's a French company. But anyway, the Southeast Asians obviously love a bit of table tennis. I love a bit of table tennis. And in here there's kind of like a little chill zone slash library slash, you know, office thing. With a TV and some books. I have no idea what's up there. There's a ladder to somewhere, but it says don't go up there, so it could just be part of the mystery. It's a very outdoor focused resort. Here is where they had the show last night. So they had like it's really interesting. I missed the start, unfortunately, so I kind of lost the story, but look at this tree. Look at that. Freaking awesome. So they had set up all the chairs in here, and they did the huge show under here with all the lights going up in the trees. It was very cool. And I'll show you through here. There's a photo shop over there, bits and pieces. It's kind of like admin, really. There's a spa as well, which we'll show you in a second. Little meet-up spots. There's a bat. See the bat? I've never seen day bats. So yeah, obviously don't leave any veins out, or you will get dinnered. So here, some of the parties have been on this side. There's another bar through here, and but then it's been open at weird times. It's not consistently open. I don't know if that's because it's low season, so that could be a low season thing. We are in low season right now. There's a whole other bar here. I don't think anyone really wants to hang out on this side at the moment because there's no wind. It's just baking hot. But they had a live band set up here on one of the nights. You know, singers, drums, guitars, the whole works. This whole place was set up. They had over here. They had people giving free massages from the spa, and kids are running around. And this thing was open. They had like a full candy thing out set up there. It was pretty sick. It's a really shame this bar isn't open because it's really nice. It does open at night, but then I went here last night and it wasn't open, so I don't know what's going on there. But there's a few places as well that are actually, I think it's in here. There's a restaurant that you can do a la carte stuff, but it's currently been refurbished. But obviously, beautiful spot. Look at that. Look, it's just, the location is just so good. And then you've got a full stage in here, so it's an outdoor, it's outdoor, semi-indoor little stage in here. They did a show in here the first night. They actually got all the kids that have been in the kids club did a routine for us. Lighting and sound and everything like that. But we could hear this from our room quite clearly. That's my point, right? So you can hear all that stuff. And then we come around here to what is effectively the sunrise side of, well, it's not effectively, it is. And as I said, I said you couldn't get through, so you can't get through. That's that island just over there. I had to walk all the way around to get to here, that's what I was pointing out. Another swing set over here, and then all the villas on this side have kind of a nice shady space. And my villa's on this side as well, which I'll show you in depth, in detail shortly. There's not enough of these. There needs to be more of these. So there are hammocks just like this, just hanging about. But they're very rare and hard to come by. And I would totally be using one if it was in a more convenient place. So I've stayed in the Deluxe. I don't know what the difference between the Deluxe and the Superior is. But like I said, it's not about focusing too much with the villa at Club Med Kani. It's about the broader experience for your kids and your family, and the surplus amounts of eating and drinking you get to do. And a location, which is just mint. And I wanted to show you these. These are kind of give you an idea of the kind of more hotel-y style rooms that you come across. So there's just, upstairs, downstairs. There's sunset facing, so actually really quite nice in that regard. And a heap of space in front of them. And as I go into and I show you my rooms, they're all a little bit in need of a little bit of love, but they're far from bad. Far from bad. And all these ones are split walled. But anyway, I'll go into that in more detail with the room review. They have diligently swept the sand for leaves every single day. Now, I could probably stop the video right now and just jet this in ahead, but I just really want to give you a sense of the scale here, just so you can get an idea of. There's my two kids, by the way, who are supposed to be in kids club, and I can see them walking back, soaking wet, drinking smoothies. So, living their best life. I am going to let them do exactly what they want to do. Alright, so we're just going to walk you over here to where the water villas start. Now I can't give you any insights into what the water villas at Club Med Kani are like. I have not stayed in any or even seen any other than from outside. All I can tell you is that I've stayed in other overwater villas and they're awesome, but they're a hike to where all the action is. And these ones I don't believe have pools. Obviously you can just jump off into the ocean, but if you want a pool. And there's places to do yoga. There's all day. Like there's an app. It's got activities all day, stuff all day. If you want to get involved with it. I just realised we went straight past the spa. Yeah, we'll go back to the spa. And then they've kind of tried to set up a little bit of a wing over here for the people who are in the overwater villas. It's the exclusive collection. We have a lounge. I think there's a bar over here as well. For those who have decided to go with the overwater experience, which is freaking awesome, but not necessarily the best option. So you got a little bar there, for example. In the shade, another whole little setup here. They have kind of like food trucks and stuff they set up in between meals as well. There's always something you can eat. You'll never go hungry. You can see the water villas heading off there. Another little lounge in here. A nice cool space to have a little rest if you want to. It's really nice with all the glass. And there we are out to the overwater villas, whichever angle you happen to be. Now it's worth noting, I think, other than these hammocks and these sofa beds and this cool stuff they've got going on here, that there's a locals island right there. Which isn't the greatest outlook, right? I mean, overwater villas are sick, but if you've got this kind of idea for this Maldivian paradise, staring at a locals island full of, you know, skyscrapers and, well, not skyscrapers, but like apartment blocks. They do fires all the time because they burn all their rubbish here because they can't get it off the island. Setting up for something over here, look. Tonight's party perhaps. And the like, it's a bit of a, it's not the outlook you're really paying for, is it? Obviously some face that way, they're sweet, some face that way, they're sweet, some face inwards, which is like not so appealing. I mean, I guess it comes down to what fits your price bracket, what you can do. But obviously the water's amazing and immaculate and beautiful as well. So you've got sunrise and sunset over here. Okay, all right. That's pretty exhaustive. I'm exhausted. Are you exhausted? Is there anything bit of this place you haven't seen yet? There is. There's the spa and the room. So let's go dive into the spa and the room. Okay, so here we are at my room, number 53. So we've got 53 and 54. So all the beachfront villas on this, the sunrise side of the island. And I think from what I can see, most of the other ones as well, except for the ones that are double story, are kind of shared wall. So it's split into two. Now, we're on this side, me and my wife, and on the other side, we've got the 3 kids. But there's no interconnecting door, and it's just something to note. I don't know if there's other rooms around here that do have interconnecting doors, but this one does not. And I don't think any of these ones down this row do. So you have to kind of go out through the balcony, which I'll show you, and go around to the room to check on the kids. They did give us a spare key, so we can just go and check on them whenever we want. Now talking about the key, it's really cool. So all the Club Meds have this kind of system where you wear a bracelet on your hand like this. And I know bracelets can sometimes be kind of annoying, but you forget it's on almost immediately. And what this basically, and it's made out of some material as well, it doesn't rash up or get sweaty or anything. It's really quite loose and breezy, very light. But this is your key. So whenever you want to open the door, you just tap that, like that. And I find it an excellent system. It's so much better just to get in and just to not have to worry about a card constantly, but not just that. It means the kids don't have cards, or you're not always trying to do stuff with the kids. So they have easy access to the rooms whenever they want. They can just come up and just tap their hands, and it's on them permanently, right? So that's really, really cool. Okay, so we're going to dive in and have a full tour here. Definitely some positives about this room, definitely some negatives as well. So some of the negatives I just want to point out straight away. So this is the front entrance, and if you can see down here at my feet, there's no mat. So no welcome mat, no vase full of water with a scoop that you can just put onto your feet, nothing like that, right? So there's no way of actually keeping the sand off your feet, and the sand is constantly on your feet. Now there is a vase with a scoop down by the balcony, but you can't get in that way. And there's no way to get from there to here without stepping in the sand. So unless you leave your door unlocked so that you can just come in through that way, you've got to come through here, and we're just tracking sand through constantly. So I just don't know why they don't at least have a mat that you can just scrape the sand off on. Now if you come over here, I want to show you something. This is going to be kind of indicative of what I've seen of all the rooms around here. And I don't know if there's been like a big storm recently, or if they're recovering from some sort of event, because we are an island in the middle of nowhere, right? Or whether it's just there's a bit of age around here. But if you have a look at this, it's pretty indicative of what you'll see. Things like this. So it's just had it, right? The age of a lot of the stuff around here is quite evident, and it definitely needs some TLC. But we'll go through that a little bit more. But don't get me wrong, it's still really nice. Let's have a look. So you walk into this foyer spot here. Now, all the walls are made out of like thick concrete, which is great. So not only traps the sound from the outside, it also keeps everything nice and cool like a cave. And it's tiled floors as well. So it keeps everything pretty cool. Now, if you have a look around in here, you got your I guess effectively a walk-in wardrobe. They provide life vests in the actual rooms, safe, some hanging space, a couple of big baskets, a place for your bags, shoes, so forth. So nice little space here. You've also got up here as well that you can put stuff if you just want to get it right out of the way and really unpack. We never seem to do that. We seem to always kind of like end up living out of our bags, but that's because we're lazy. Now if you come through here, you have a really nice space, which is the bathroom. So they've done a really lovely job in here. I like the glass finishes, the bits of steel that are in the walls like this. Obviously robes, towels, water, hairdryer, all that kind of stuff that's going on. Pump packs for all the shampoos, conditioners, so forth. It's not rich in amenities. You can ask for stuff. For example, there's no shower cap, which my wife was really after. But you can request it and they'll give it to you. It's just not in here. So I don't know if I really mind that, because otherwise sometimes it's just unnecessary wastage. Like you've got toothpaste and you use their toothpaste anyway, stuff like that. So that's not too bad, but I think it's really quite nice in here. Now if you come around here, you'll see super sizable toilet, big feature. And then you've got a shower in here, which is warm. It takes a little while to heat up. It's warm, pressure's not so great. And that's probably because it's a water conservation thing. We are on an island, but if big water pressure is a big thing for you, then that's worth noting. It's like, it'd be a struggle to get the shampoo out of your hair. And then through here, there's another space. Ooh, ouch. An outdoor, just a bit of extra luxe. And like I said, this is the deluxe room. So there's the superior room, I think, below this one. And I don't know what the difference is, but this is just, I'd say it's got a little bit better finishes, a little bit more space. And this is an outdoor shower, which is really kind of cool. I like standing under a waterfall, which is where I've been having all my showers. Just cold water out here, but it's 30-something degrees, so even in the morning. not too much to worry about. So yeah, so I think this part is really good. Now I do want to point out a couple of things. If you look up here, you can see around the vent there, the grime. Over here, there's just, I don't know where that goes. It's obviously some sort of service hatch, but that's broken. And if you look out here as well, you can see the paint starting to peel on the walls a bit. Now, it doesn't ruin the overall, how comfortable the place is to stay in. Like I said, it's quiet, aircon's really effective. But that's what I'm talking about when you can just say, oh geez, it could really do with just a little bit of TLC, just come through and just refresh everything slightly, I think. And it could just be a fallback from COVID, right? They've probably just gone through a patch where they're just trying to make money again. All right, let's go into the main space. Sorry, I've just got a bit of just a rough throat. Not a COVID throat, I can guarantee you that, but I think it's just from just the dry air and having too many beers last night. Okay, so here's the king. So I will start with the king, which is a very comfortable bed. So it's a really lovely, comfortable. The pillows are both kind of on the soft side. So you've got kind of two soft pillows. I would have preferred it if they had at least one soft and one medium, just so you can kind of construct what is right for you. But it's not super soft. But the bed, really, really comfortable. The temperature in here last night was fantastic. It was actually a thunderstorm came through last night. So there was lightning and there was rain falling on the roof. And the way that they've done the roof is kind of like, it was very similar to being in like a tent. So it was like, that pitter patter of rain. I love the sound of it. And I was lying in bed and I was in my mind's eye, I was going, oh no, have I put where's the fridge? Did I leave any bikes out? Are the chairs still around the campfire? Like there was that kind of sound, and I just instantly went into the reflex of camping of like, oh no, what have I left out in the rain? So we've got this bench on the back here, which I quite like. It leaves you plenty of space for things like water bottles. You've got, oh, my throat, I'm so sorry. This light here as well. Nice little beachy finish on everything. I really like the color of this as well. It just kind of, that's very similar to the waters out the front. Bit of art around, so quite nice in here. A bit more storage space as well. And then you got this, almost like a sun lounge. This is comfortable and nice, and in other rooms becomes a third bed, which I'll show you in a sec. I don't actually know if you can open this chest, you can. There's even more storage space in here, which is good. Nice place to sit down as well. That's right, do shoes. Now over here we've got the table. The little vanity unit, a little desk here for some work. And then you've got the TV. Now the TV has 20 channels. I haven't seen a movie on any of those channels. There was one sport channel, but it had no reception. A couple of news channels, BBC. It's not exactly that great a selection. It is supposed to be a smart TV, but one of my pet hates is when you get into a room and the batteries are flat in the remote. I don't know why it's not standard procedure just to check the battery works. It happens so many times. So there's no battery in that, but I looked at it in the other room, which I'll show you in a sec. So just a quick correction here. I have indeed found a second remote. So I don't know what the difference is, but this one actually does have batteries in it and is working. So I apologize. The other one doesn't seem to do anything. However, this one also requires internet, which is also not working. Well, the internet's been generally okay, a bit spotty, but okay. But for whatever reason, it's not finding a network here on a TV, so I can't use Netflix or anything anyway. But there is a remote that works in the room. Water, coffee, tea, all that stuff's here as well. Obviously, I'll be doing, the broader review I'm doing of the whole resort. I'll go into more detail about the all-inclusive nature of it and all the activities and everything like that, because I think that's really important when you consider the room quality, because this is not a hangout in a villa resort. So some of the resorts you go to, especially in the Maldives, it's very much about the villa experience. You're over the water, there's water slides, it's crazy luxe, and it's all about being in the villa. Club Med is not about being in the villa. Club Med is about being in all the activities and the kids, being out with the kids and stuff like that. So I think that's something to note. You're spending a lot less time in the villa in this resort than you will in other resorts. Yep, and so a little space here, water. There's a little fridge in here as well. There is, and if you want to come around and have a look at that. The bar fridge, we shouldn't have anything in it, I don't think. Let's have a look. Oh no, it's got a couple of bits and pieces in there. There you go, including a glass of wine. Someone didn't have their wine last night. Mrs. Camerawoman. Okay, now if I'd like you to have a quick look up. I really love this design. They've got with the kind of exposed rafters and that extra space. Just allow someone for the heat to go, and it creates kind of an openness and a bit more of a luxury feeling. So I really like that. I really love this. I don't know what it's necessarily doing, but it just kind of frames it all really, really nicely as well. So yeah, I know I've said that there's definitely some need for some TLC in this place, in this room, but it's still a really comfortable and nice room. So I want to make that clear. And like I said, we're spending so little time in here that we've really just come back to sleep and just get out of the sun for a little bit and in the aircon, and it's really comfortable for that. Now I'll shake you out the side here. Curtains are thick and good, trap all the light, which is also important. So many places you go and you can't block out the light. Now these doors are something that I'm really not happy with. I don't know if you can tell here, they're very, very flimsy aluminium, you know, one sheet of glass, not double glazed or anything like that. Just really flimsy. I feel like I'm gonna break this. It's like one of those nasty kind of old 80s style balcony doors. It also doesn't lock. So that's a problem. Close, lock, doesn't work. I was jiggling it around. I found a perfect spot where I actually got it to lock this morning. And I don't know what that spot is because I can't find it again. Now the kids' room next door, that locks, but it's kind of really stiff. So like I said, obviously a bit of work needs to be done. Now, out here, feels like a bit of a private beach experience. So you've got, you kind of stretch out to the lagoon. I guess the winds are seasonal. Right at the moment, we're in July, and the wind's kind of coming from the sunset side of the island. So the sunset's obviously more desirable. You get to watch the sunset from your room. But the sunrise is actually more protected and has nicer waters, nicer swimming, and no kind of like stiff breeze in your face, at least at this time of year. I'd say that probably changes. But you've got this kind of open space. You've got a couple of sun lounges here. Again, no mat. So the only mat we've got is like a bath towel. So that's just, again, I really don't understand why there's no mats. Somewhere to hang, like a decent amount of hanging space, which is good. Family size rack. There's that other pot I was telling you about, but like I said, once you use it to get anywhere, it becomes a problem. Worth noting that that's the neighbours right there. So obviously if you're both on the balconies, you're going to be hear each other. We haven't heard anyone from either side. So like I said, people don't really hang in their villas here. Now, if you follow me, I'll take you around to the other side. But boy, it's beautiful. It really is a nice space. But the whole island is just exactly what you would want from Maldives. Tranquility and peace and beauty. So everyone seems to have their own lounge out here as well, next to the water. There is some surfing out there as well. I'll talk about that later. And so yeah, so this is kind of how you interconnect between the rooms. Now, word of warning, this is the kids' room, so it's a pigsty. But you can see same problem here in that, you know, yes, I've got sand all over my feet now, so I can do this and just get the sand off the bottom of my feet. It's really awkward the way they've done the handle on this one. But then there's nowhere to dry your feet, so. Right, and so in here, very, very similar space, pretty much a mirror image of the other side. Obviously, this would be sold as two separate places. We just happen to be a big enough family that we need both. But you can see here how the bed's done up, and obviously the king as well. So the kids have just been two sharing there, one over there, and otherwise it's exactly the same the whole way through. As you can see through here. And all the kids just got changed, so there's clothes are everywhere. But this will, yeah, it'll just show you quickly that the space is pretty much identical to the other side there. So there you go. So there's a tour of what you can expect from the Deluxe Beachfront Villa here at Club Med Kani. And you can see there's obviously overwater options, quite a substantial amount of overwater options. I'm looking at the room number and like it goes up into the 400s. I don't know if there's actually 400 villas or they skip numbers, I don't know. But there are a lot of villas here. So the overwater ones you can see there, I can't give you any insight into what they're like, but none of these seem to have pools, their own private pools, which is a bit of a thing, just entrance into the water. I will say this, is that the overwater villas are awesome. Like I've stayed in them, they're really amazing, you know, they're really peaceful and tranquil and the views so spectacular from them. But in this particular resort, they're so far away from the center of the action, and this resort is all about being in the center of the action. And you do a lot of walking here. So I would highly recommend in this particular location not to be put off by the fact that you're not on the overwater villa if you can get one of these kind of beachfront villas that are closer to the center, especially if you're here with young kids. If you're not here with young kids, then maybe the overwater villa is going to be better, but with the young kids constantly going back and from the main pool, from the dining, from the basketball courts and the football courts and the sailing and the scuba, the snorkeling and all the kind of cool stuff they've got going on here, being kind of more in the middle in this particular resort is actually probably a win. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the specifics of the room. Yeah, a little bit of work, definitely be a benefit, but certainly a very nice place to stay. There you go guys, that's my exhaustive tour and full review of Club Med Kani. I really rate the Club Med experience for families. I think if you want to go to the Maldives and you're dragging your kids along and you want to have an experience where they're having as much fun as you are, and that you can be quite hands-off, I highly recommend it. It's also great having all-inclusive. If you look around the other resorts, the prices of alcohol and food, in particular the food, is really significant. And if just being here and just not having to have that stress of just knowing that we're going to eat well, we can get a drink whenever we feel like one, the kids can get a drink whenever they feel like one, without this huge bill racking up in the background, I think is really important. Having so many activities on hand that you can just do is also really important, and you know, the flexibility of having the surf right here and just being able to surf, but also all the snorkeling and the trapeze and all that kind of really cool stuff. I think it's just super easy to recommend to anyone who is traveling to the Maldives with kids. Now, if there are obviously negatives, like I said and showed you, like definitely could do with a bit of an update in some places. It's very expansive and there's no real easy way to get around. So if you're not very mobile, that's going to be quite challenging. You definitely want to have one of the places right next to the centre, but then you're also going to have to deal with the parties and everything that go on every single night. It's not very, it's sheltered, like there's lots of palm trees like this everywhere that keep things in the shade. But some of the other islands you go to, it's like going into like a dense jungle when you walk through these paths and tracks, and it's very, very relaxing. This is a bit more baked, like you feel hot, and in the sun here it's a bit more exposed. And if you were here, I think as a couple, on a honeymoon, or just going on a couples thing, or you're a bit elderly like that, and you're looking for a bit of like quiet and space and that more just full-on relaxing style of Maldives experience, maybe Club Med Kani isn't for you. I think you might just end up getting a bit frustrated by having to go walk so much distance, by the fact that it is quite relatively exposed to the weather, and you know, like the little bit of lack of gloss on some of the finishes, and obviously the kids everywhere, and that. So I think you'll find yourself a little bit compromised. So definitely, if you want to be in the zone, in the audience for this experience, if you are, man, you're going to have a great time, a really, really good time. We are in that exact spot with the 3 kids, and we have had a fantastic time, and it's just been so good having so much fun, and just being able to sit back with my wife and just enjoy a cocktail and look out over this extraordinary destination. Like it's still so beautiful. This lagoon side in particular is really nice, and then the other side's got that kind of more open beachy side. So, and you could probably argue the lack of a house, like a really good just reef right off the edge, maybe. But they take you out on boat, so I don't even think that's really that big of a con. So, anyway, big thumbs up for me. And this is in line with my previous Club Med experience, which was at Bintan. I did a review on that. You can go check out as well. Like I said, I'll do a comparison video at some point, and hopefully experience a few more Club Meds as well, because I really want to. A lot of this experience is the same, but a lot of it's really different. So it does feel unique. It doesn't feel like I've just walked out of one place into another and the destination doesn't matter. That's not the case at all. All right. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you check out my other videos. Until next time, I'm getting back on the road. You.